welcome back. It is the Danny Dot Podcast. I'm going to make today's episode a little bit different. It's a moment for me to pause, reflect, wrap up what has been this wild ride of a season. 24 episodes or season 3, it's been full of big conversations, big changes, and more than a few plot twists along the way. Some weeks, I know you've all felt it, I felt like I was on top of the world. In other weeks, I was more about hanging on for dear life and surviving. Honestly, the beauty of this messy, magical life that I'm figuring out, I applaud every single one of you for being the audience and listening in every Tuesday. So in this final episode of Season 3, I'm looking back at the lessons, the life shifts, and the surprises, all the dots that I've connected over these past 24 episodes. So let's dive in. Where are we at? What is happening? That's kind of how I feel like sometimes when I wake up in the morning. What is happening? What day is it? I want to say that like 2025 I thought would have this flow-on effect like 2024. That was so put together, and I really tried hard not to have to do 75 hard again just for that routine. But I'm telling you, I had no control. There was this weird spiraling moment. I have had a few people ask me recently how the house build is going, and I feel like I need to give a bit of an understanding here because this isn't my forever home. I'm not moving into it. It's actually a investment that I'm doing with my brother, and we get the keys on Friday. So weirdly enough, I've said this the whole time, you need to trust the timing of your life. Is it not weird that I'm finishing up season 3 this week and I'm getting the keys to my new house? Like, I really could not have timed that. It's absurd, and I'm very excited. So the plan is to move my mum over to Queenstown. She is going to live with Tom for the next year. I think it's going to be great because, you know, a bit of mother-son time. She can go and teach him how to cook and be, I don't know, over there. I say that because when I first moved back in 2019 and I moved into this house, which my brother built, we were all living together and it was COVID time, so that's fine. And then it kind of got easy. It was just a case of like, well, if you're going to pay the mortgage, you might as well live in the house. So when Tom left 5 years ago and moved to Queenstown, I stayed on and it was just, yeah, exactly that, super easy. So now this whole thing with owning a house over there with him and paying a mortgage over here, it's ripping me apart. And it's been fine and I'm managing, but I'm sitting here like, bro, no. So mum's heading over to pay the mortgage over there, get a couple of Airbnb guests and just enjoy living under the mountain range and next to the lake, which she always bleats on that she loves. And I'm going to hold the fort here and just continue what I'm doing. So one of the major things I am excited about, though, is getting my things out from storage from when I brought them back in 2019 from Australia. Obviously, my character and my personality definitely shows in my items, my possessions. So, yeah, it will be very cool to unpack. And right now, the house is a bit of a bomb site. I'm not going to lie. We are quietly packing up and putting things aside so that mum can just do an easy transition to the new house. However, we do have an Airbnb guest tonight and that is trucking along really, really well, 1 or 2 a week. I'm flexible. It's not about the financial aspect. It is just about a bit of difference in my life. I have had a few people ask, well, why don't you get the truckies and all that to stay at your place? Look, I've caused enough shit with those truckies. I'm not doing any more of that shit. So no, I will stick to Airbnb where it's like legit. So no, and this guy tonight actually messaged to say he would be arriving at 10 p.m. and gone at 7 a.m. for an early flight, which absolutely works for me. It's easy money. It's probably the most easiest money I've made. And I do enjoy it. It's just, you have to be a little bit organised, and I am kind of not. We had a wee chickie. She came last week. Her name was Molly. She was, what I didn't understand is that she had never stayed in Airbnb before, but she actually signed up to stay at my house because of my kitten, which that alone, I said to Poe, my cat, you're selling it for us. Would you just keep posing and taking good photos, for goodness sakes? But no, Molly was great. She She was our first female as an Airbnb guest. We've only had blokes, and they kind of scoot in between 6 and 7 p.m. and they're gone at maybe 7 a.m. Molly turned up at 10 past 3 and didn't leave till 10 to 10. She's a typical female. You know, the ones that stay right to the very end of the hotel booking and get there right on the start, you know. So I said to Mum, let's try and avoid that for the future. Didn't work for me. But no, as per usual, just normal 5-star feedback. I'm a really great host, and we're just going to keep going with that. So in a year's time, October next year to be exact, we will be selling this investment house that me and Tom have built together, and it's been this wild ride. Right now we're up to landscaping and it's not going well. I think my ideas are very minimalistic, whereas Tom's are man cave and planter boxes. So in a year's time, we sell that house. The profit, Tom is going to go and build his forever home. I'm very excited. I have no idea what that's going to look like. I think it's even going to be like based off shipping containers. He is a builder by trade, so he will be very creative with it. My profit, however, I am not going to be ploughing into real estate. I will be building a bar. I'm thrilled at the opportunities that I have been given to bring this to Cromwell. Currently sort of looking at my options and what I could potentially bring to the community. So I don't know if this podcast is going to see a season 4 or 5, just because this house build alone has taken up a lot of brain space. And you can only imagine that if I get the opportunity to build a bar, that is just going to be absolutely time consuming, but it's something I'm really passionate about. I could never be a bartender. It would just be some for you, some for me. That would be how I pour my drinks. Nightmare. So I might as well own something and actually bring a bit of myself out to the community. Just swaying up ideas at the moment. I'm kind of on the fence about a sports bar or a country western bar, something with a lot of flair and spontaneous sort of menus, lots of cheapness. I hate all this like markup stuff just because I don't understand. Like, if you buy a big bottle of Spates and it's like $5.50 from the liquor store, why is it like $12 at the bar? No, it doesn't fly with me. And I think that you'd sell more if you keep the pricing low, but I get it. You have to pay wages and things like that. Maybe I need to take a bar manager's course or something. Bar ownership course is what I need to do. And then randomly, my mum said last night, just completely off the bat, I think I've got it in me to build one more house. And I thought, oh, fuck, here we go. So she's already starting to scout out what her next options are. She does want to buy an apartment in Queenstown so that we have somewhere to stay for those boozy nights and weekends that we stay over in Queenstown. So that's on the agenda. And I potentially asked if I could buy half of the house that I live in right now, just so it could alleviate some of the assets, equity, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, a few people have asked what that whole thing is. And honestly, it's a mess to explain. So I haven't said anything. I've just basically said I'm building a house with my brother and left it at that. But this is the empire that the Wilsons are creating at the moment, and I'm very excited to see what next. And did I have this on the cards for 2025? No. I've kind of been a bit of a nightmare in this whole thing just because I can't make decisions on paint colours and shit like that. But I think we've done well. So that's answering that question. This whole season as a whole, it actually kind of thrills me a lot to see that I went from the very lowest of lows when shit emotionally hit the fan for me at the start of the season to where I am now. Yeah, I have the emotional capability of a crumpet. Nothing makes me sad because I literally feel like all the energy has been rinsed out of me from the emotionally unavailable salmon that ruined everything. But you know what? Ruined it for the better. And yeah, look, I'm happy. I'm just coasting along, and I've had a couple of questions about this, that, and the other throughout the season where I just didn't really want to address anything. I was like, at the end of the day, if I put everything sort of and brought some walls down and put a few things on the line, then that's on me. But I think in hindsight, I wouldn't change anything. I'm really proud about how how I kind of bounced back. And heartbreak sucks, especially when you're sort of thinking the most positive about a person. So have I seen him since? No. It's best that he steers clear of me. I think my whole mentality about him is just like, he's just not worth any sort of time of day. There was never any reconciliation. There was never, hey, let's like rethink about our options. Let's, work on things. No, it was literally the cleanest detachment. I was just ripped to shreds because I had big plans in 2025 to maybe share it with someone. So, that all happened and I was very honest about it. And then a couple of episodes later, when we met that other guy that decided he was going to end things via text message, he was very spontaneous, but at the same time, he lied so much that he could not keep up with his lies. And I think when I went to dinner with my mum and him and he started lying and then he didn't remember the lies he said, like that's a big no-no. So obviously growing, and I kind of didn't let things my communication was shit. I basically did not want to fall into any traps because of what had happened earlier on in the season with, who. I wasn't being my wholehearted self, so he decided to end things over text. Be a man, God. Nothing worse than being broken up with. Well, it wasn't a thing. It's not being broken up with, but ended over text message. It's like that episode of Sex and the City where Carrie gets broken up on a post-it note. It's kind of impersonal, I feel like he could have said that to any old female. Anyway, 3 weeks later, it was all down the drain, whatever. I've had a couple of questions asking if Farmer has received any royalties from the projectile skyrocket of audience that came with when I mentioned him. I don't know why I laugh about it, but I do because it's so stupid. I was at the pub on Friday night, just got back from Australia. Everything was fine. He walks in. A friend says to me, "Oh, look who's walks in." I said, "Oh, God, here we go." I was a little bit excited. I might have, had a conversation with the guy. But no. I actually went to the bar with the intention of getting him a shot just to extend the olive branch and say, "Hey, look, sorry for mentioning you on the podcast without telling you." I don't know what happened, but I backtracked and decided I wasn't going to extend the olive branch, and I brought the bartender a shot. So you don't bite the hand that feeds you, and the bartender feeds you, so he got the shot. Anyway, off I toddled back to my seat, and that was the end of it. Totally fine. Absolutely fine with me. I'm not holding my breath with any part of this type of shit. I'm honestly just having fun, and I think that's a real evolution of this whole season, is that I just have this whole mentality like, it is what it is. I don't care. Do I look sad about it? No. I mean, I was a little bit sad in Australia because my cousins all have their shit sorted with their partners, and I was like, bro, if I lived in Australia still, would this be me? I just don't know, because I feel like sometimes I'm letting myself down living in a small town where there's like literally a speckle in a lake of men that might even just, I don't know, have the mental capacity of, I don't know. I don't even know. I can't even, they're just not there. And more so, there's a lot of infidelity and like extra partners and open relationships and just weird things as we go through life that I just sit there and I think, no, I'm going to hang on until something better comes along. Or I had a tarot reading 6 weeks ago and the lady said to me, "You're going to find love between 58 and 60 and potentially marriage." And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be an old bride. But I was kind of excited because I get to have a hen's night. And that was all that went through my head was, oh my God, I actually might actually get to celebrate something, because the thought of me having kids is not in my realm. It's definitely not where I'm at. I'm not that type of girl. But I would love to get married and have the hen's night and, I don't know, just like look after and enjoy someone's company and compliment their lifestyle as they will for me. But yeah, I was weirdly excited about this reading. I was like, yes. And I kind of feel like this whole like there was a bit of stress off my shoulders, like, well, it's going to happen. Just don't worry about it. And that's where it all sort of fell down. I didn't give a shit anymore. Am I going to be an old bride? Maybe. I don't really care. Anyway, so there have been a couple of questions I thought that I would kind of loop back on at these things. You guys are really creative. Which episode title best sums up your personal season of life right now? I'm still laughing and I want it to be stop and toast your wins. I'm saying this because with everything happening in my life right now, and especially what's going to happen on Friday, I have no idea what that celebration looks like. I just need to stop and think about the fact that I've literally built a house this year with my brother, having never done that before in my life. And I don't know if I'm supposed to tell people to meet us at the house to celebrate the house just being built, or am I supposed to furnish the house and then have people over? Like, what even do I do? But I know in my brain I'm overthinking it. I'm just like, what the fuck? And I keep laughing because I'm like, that's just the emotion. I know how to deal with this. But yeah, that title definitely best sums up my season of life right now. I have no idea how to stop and just celebrate that. Which episode surprised you the most once the conversation unfolded? God damn it, I hate it, but definitely that stupid one about the farmer. Move over Tinder, I'm going rural. He wasn't on my bingo card. I'm going to say it just because it wasn't about him. I don't know why that one took off on that sort of topic. However, it actually was what I had written on my 12 grapes at New Year's list, and I was being honest about what I had written, which I had not told anyone. And once I started talking about it and actually getting it off my chest and being honest, I was sitting there thinking, holy fuck, I'm actually saying it out loud. Like, I've not done that before. And talking about the Lionsgate and just, if you actually put things to paper and actually start to think this is what I deserve in life, and it starts coming in roundabout ways, surprised the fuck out of me. I'm not even gonna lie. I took a step back and I was like, well, I'm really proud of myself for being that open. And then I was like, fuck, it wasn't about that. It was about the fact that he did what he did. And whoops-a-daisies. I actually got told at the wedding, like in Australia just recently, I understand why you were so sick and you came back for that second episode, which was the last episode just gone, and you were quite honest about, everyone go easy on him. It's not about that. But, Danny, and I was like, oh no, I fucked up. Whoopsies. So yeah, that conversation itself unfolded in it just blew my mind. And I sat there and I thought about it for ages, like, I haven't even told anyone. And here I am telling my podcast. Like, are you joking? Fuck. Whoopsies. What else is here? If we all took away one life lesson from season 3, what should it be? A life lesson. I feel like this season's definitely revolving around what will be, and don't stress, because if anything in life is for you, it's not going to go past you. And I think I had to tell myself that over and over again when such big important events happen in my life, that I was like, fuck, no, you're missing me out. And then I was like, no, because if this was actually meant to be something for me, why am I worried? People came into my life, whether it was for a reason, a season, or an episode. And if they've left again, well, that's fine. I am no longer that person that worries about, if people don't want to be a part of something or they don't want to see something that might be happening in your life. Where for a while there, the whole small town mentality kind of got on top of me. I thought, well, fuck, if I'm actually doing really well at something, why am I struggling at explaining it or being proud of it? And so a big part of the season obviously was openness and being really honest and just thinking, if you don't like it, why are you still listening? If you don't like me, why are you still a friend? I'm not going to change. I'm never going to get any different. This is what it is. And just, if you don't like it, bye. But I'm not going to feel worried about if someone's left my life. That's obviously happened for a reason. And I was just talking to my friend in Australia recently about, if people want to come back. And is it my star sign because I'm a stubborn Taurus that I actually don't allow people back in? It's like, if I didn't remove you, you removed yourself, why should I let you back in again? If you're only going to have a look, see what's going on, and then see you later. So, yeah, look, it's definitely something that I'm just not worried about. If it's for me, it's not going to go past me, and that's fine. So my whole stress levels about life have just come down, but also I'm getting old now. Like, I'm 38. Calm down. But yeah, that was kind of where I was at with all of that. I just thought, what kind of content from this season are you going to carry into season 4? What are you ready to leave behind? Men. The theme from this season I want to carry into season 4 is enjoyment and a really great audience. I definitely want to keep the momentum going that, you know what? I don't live the most exciting life, and I definitely have like times of lull moments. But at the same time, like, you need to understand that if you're going to listen for 30 minutes, there's going to be this weird sort of topic that might get brought up, but I'm only doing it for a reason to show you that maybe you needed to hear it. I don't know. It's definitely just a trending topic or something, and that's kind of consistent with my podcast episodes. So season 4 is probably going to look like a whole bunch of what next in 2026. I am obviously going to be scouting for what a bar looks like for me. I'll be living alone in Cromwell. I might have an Airbnb guest on every now and then. There's definitely been conversations about that. The audience has been some of my guests. Hey guys, thanks for staying at the Wilson residence. What am I ready to leave behind? Bad situations where I just think, how the hell did I get here? I said this last year, and I don't know why it followed me this year, but I promised myself I wouldn't go to house parties in winter this year that would eventuate to me running home at 4 a.m. with like barely any clothing on. I mean, you go out with the intention of trying to look kind of cute, right? And then you end up running through the streets in -3, -4, -5 degrees at 4 a.m., blister on your foot, stupid shit like that. And I am ready to leave that behind. It's not going to happen in 2026 or season 4. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about all the weird men that come into my life, because obviously it's only an example as to what's out there. None of these blokes I've come across are even reason to talk more about them. Someone needs to show me some real great personality and character for me to even explain the excitement that it brings. I'm leaving behind shit interactions. Ones that I just think, what the fuck? No. How has this podcast season changed the way you see yourself? Oh, God. I definitely thought I was more resilient than I am, and I really want to work on that. The weird thing is that I came across, I don't know if, well, my New Zealand listeners might be aware of this, but there is this weird primate membership with Mighty Ape. And I don't know if people are aware of this, but they knocked down the prices of a lot of items on the mightyape.co.nz website if you're a primate member. This only happened 3 days ago when I was buying my kitten a toy. So they sent me this email that said, there's some books that you might be interested in that have been marked down from $45 to $10. And I thought, you know what? I want to level up a little bit. I'm already a really great person. I love to have like different friends around me, and the support that I have is really like my favorite thing. I have a really great, strong friendship circle. But I also want to see myself as like, okay, if I was that person, I definitely there was an interaction at the gym just recently with one of the trainers where I was just explaining something and how I felt kind of looked over. Like, I put a lot out there into the universe and I really want it to just start coming back to me, or else I just feel really exhausted with it. And I really think that this season has changed the way that I look at myself and thinking that, how the fuck am I coming off to other people, if I don't feel it? And I think I've got these books coming and I'm really excited that they're so heavily reduced. And I think that's a little bit of a secret that you should all get on top of, is trying to be like a better person, but also lead by example. I am going to sort of start implementing that I deserve better in life, but I know that comes with age as well, so it's fine. That's kind of the weird thing is, podcast season this season has crazily just turned everything around, and I have to work on a few things. That's all I say. I actually saw a question the other day that was like, you should bring back the episodes where you recommend things. There is literally only two things that this whole season that I would recommend to my listeners, and one is the Octane body oil and the shower oil or the body oil. That shit is like gold. Oh my gosh, douse me in it. I just want to like lie in a bath with that. It's phenomenal. That I cannot speak more highly of that stuff. And secondly, the biggest hair secret right now is hair gloss. Get the L'Oreal, get the pink bottle. Oh my gosh, 10 out of 10. You basically just wash your hair and then you put that gloss on for 5 minutes while you shave your legs or you, I don't know, scratch your hoo-ha, I don't know. And then all of a sudden wash it out and your hair is going to be this stunning gloss. And I thought, that's a secret. And when I got my hair done in Brisbane recently, the lady actually said to me, don't tell people. And I was like, are you joking? So no, that is probably the only thing that comes out of the season 3 recommendations, but I may bring those episodes back. It's hard when you feel like you should actually show people the product, and I just don't. Does that mean I have to be back on camera again? Because I really don't want to. So if season 4 had a trailer, what would the teaser line be? I feel like with me, it's going to be something like, because thriving is better when you laugh through the chaos. I have this general tendency to laugh and I'm awkwardly nervous, and maybe that's just me, I don't know. Life doesn't slow down and neither do I. Yeah, well, that goes without saying, doesn't it? So all in all, out of my 24 episodes in season 3, I hope that you all took away something. There's definitely been a massive surge in audience members. And weirdly, it was actually before the farmer came onto this whole scene. So don't even worry if you've been there since, February 11, we first kicked the season off. Hi, if you're still here now and you only joined halfway through the season, go back to the start. There's definitely a few people doing it as well, because I've seen it. It says episode 1, the Danny podcast is surging right now. And I laugh because I'm like, man, wasn't that when we first had the xylophone, when we first started? It was like, bing, 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 bing. Oh my gosh, I still like awkwardly laugh about that. So anyway, I feel like that we're going to call it now. It's a wrap on season 3 of my Danny podcast. I've got 75 episodes in total, 0 filters, and so many reflections that have not only shaped myself, but the show and also my life. If you've been here since day 1 or you've just pressed play for the very first time this season, thank you for listening, for leaning in, and for being part of my wild ride. The dots, however, don't stop here. Season 4 is definitely in the works with some new conversations, new questions, and, of course, some unexpected twists. I am who I am, right? Until then, everyone, keep reflecting, keep asking, keep connecting the dots in my life story, and I will see you in season 4, kick off in February. Always make good choices, and if you have any feedback or want to have a chat, find me on Instagram at Danny.podcast. Take care, and let's see what happens over summer, eh? Bye for now.